Shockwaves ripped through Hollywood this morning. Malcolm-Jamal Warner is dead at 54. The beloved actor, best known for playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, drowned while vacationing with his family in Costa Rica on July 21st. The news came suddenly, without warning, and hit like a punch to the gut. Fans who grew up with his warm smile and playful charm are reeling from the devastating announcement. Warner wasn't just another actor. He was a face millions trusted, a voice millions loved, and a symbol of an era where television dared to change the narrative. And now, just like that, he's gone. Behind the headlines is a career that defied the odds. Malcolm-Jamal Warner wasn't just the sitcom sidekick. He was the heart of a cultural revolution. From age 14, he held his own beside comedy giants like Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad, bringing depth, humor, and relatability to one of the most iconic Black TV families in history. He grew up before our eyes, evolving from teenage star to mature performer, carving out a path that would include Emmy-winning work, poetry, directing, and activism. But even with all those achievements, Warner stayed grounded. He was never addicted to fame. He was addicted to purpose. Now, as tributes flood social media, it's clear this isn't just about losing a talented actor. It's about losing a piece of cultural memory. From Viola Davis to Zendaya, generations of performers are crediting Warner for opening doors. His sudden passing has reignited conversations about the kind of representation he helped build and the kind of legacy he leaves behind. As one fan posted, he was the brother we all needed. And that sentiment, echoed across millions of screens, is proof that Warner's impact was never fictional. It was real, and it was powerful. Ironically, Warner had just entered what many considered a new chapter. In interviews this year, he spoke of slowing down, spending time with his family, and traveling more, especially to places like Costa Rica, where nature and peace met him with open arms. It was supposed to be a break, a reset, a moment to breathe. No one could have imagined it would become the setting for his final breath. Authorities have confirmed his cause of death as accidental drowning, though full reports are still pending. What hurts most, perhaps, is how unfinished it all feels. Malcolm-Jamal Warner still had stories to tell, roles to play, wisdom to share. Instead, the world is left with silence, and a void that can't be filled. His final act was unintended, but unforgettable. It reminds us all of the fragility of life, the weight of legacy, and the strange, beautiful tragedy of finding peace, just before the curtain falls. Beneath the calm surface of a tropical paradise, a devastating storm was unfolding, one that would change the landscape of celebrity memory forever. According to preliminary reports, Malcolm-Jamal Warner had been enjoying a day of light activity with close family and friends near Playa Conchal, a serene beach on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, known for its crystal waters and gentle currents. Witnesses described the day as unremarkable in the best way. Sunlight, laughter, nothing unusual, until everything went quiet. Around midday, Warner reportedly ventured into the ocean for a short swim. Within minutes, he was in distress. Several witnesses say they saw him wave one arm and call out faintly before disappearing below the surface. A frantic rescue effort was launched by nearby beachgoers, but by the time he was pulled to shore, Warner had lost consciousness. CPR was performed immediately. He was pronounced dead shortly after paramedics arrived. What followed was a chaotic flurry of disbelief. Local authorities confirmed the identity of the deceased within hours, and while initial speculation swirled, was it cardiac arrest? A rip current? Officials confirmed it was drowning, with no signs of foul play. The simplicity of the cause was, in its own way, haunting. Here was a man who had survived the brutalities of fame, navigated scandal without being tainted, and emerged from the shadow of one of television's most controversial legacies with grace, only to be taken by the ocean, in silence, on what should have been a peaceful day. For fans, it didn't make sense. For friends, it was almost too cruel. Meanwhile, media outlets scrambled to verify the news, hesitant to believe that such a gentle, enduring presence could be gone just like that. As the confirmation came in, shock turned to grief. Former co-stars like Tempest Bledsoe, Kashia Knight Pulliam, and even Raven Simonow, who had shared the screen with Warner in various Cosby episodes, began posting cryptic broken heart emojis and candle tributes. The entertainment community paused. Networks began airing old episodes of The Cosby Show, and conversations began, not just about Warner, but about the complex and layered legacy of the show itself, which has become increasingly fraught due to the legal downfall of Bill Cosby. Yet, through all that noise, Warner had always stood apart. He was never accused of wrongdoing. He never leaned into scandal for headlines. He kept his private life sacred, his relationships quiet, and his opinions nuanced. And so, as headlines buzzed with hot takes and retrospectives, those closest to Warner pushed for the focus to remain on him. The man, not the context. A quiet warrior in an industry of egos. A bridge between eras. A mentor who never called himself one, yet always led by example. The conflict, then, is not only in the how of his death, but in the legacy that's now under a microscope. How do you celebrate a figure so deeply tied to a show that changed the world, and was later tainted by its star? How do you preserve Warner's brilliance without erasing the darkness that surrounded the series that made him famous? Fans are asking, and so are critics. Some want clean closure, others want layered truth. But amid the noise, one thing is certain. Warner's death is no ordinary celebrity passing. It's a mirror held up to American memory, race, legacy, and grief. Suddenly, the narrative surrounding Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death escalated into something far bigger than a tragic drowning. It became a cultural reckoning. As news of his passing continued to spread, the digital landscape ignited. Social media feeds were inundated not just with tributes, but with raw emotion. TikToks featuring old clips of Theo Huxtable racked up millions of views overnight. Instagram carousels chronicled Warner's evolution, from sitcom prodigy to seasoned actor and quiet icon. X, formerly Twitter, became a space of both mourning and memory. A viral thread titled "The Kindness of Malcolm-Jamal Warner" collected anecdotes from makeup artists, stage managers, and even baristas who recounted his humility, gratitude, and calming presence in an industry often powered by ego. How could a healthy, active 54-year-old man die so suddenly in what appeared to be calm ocean waters? Theories emerged. Some speculated about an underlying health condition. Others questioned safety protocols at the resort. A few even linked the tragedy to the broader trend of Hollywood figures seeking peace abroad, only to encounter tragedy far from home. Regardless of speculation, what became undeniable was the symbolic weight of the moment. Warner, often described as Hollywood's moral center, had exited the stage. And now, his legacy was being rewritten in real time. Then came the resurgence of controversy. While most tributes were respectful, some critics questioned the extent to which Warner's death was being whitewashed, divorced from the complicated legacy of The Cosby Show. Could we honor Theo without invoking Cosby? Should Warner's legacy be isolated from the show that launched him, or examined as part of its difficult history? Think pieces multiplied. Activists pointed to Warner as a case study in separating art from artist. Cultural historians revisited old interviews, including one in which Warner carefully stated, "You can acknowledge greatness while rejecting the harm surrounding it." That quote went viral, used by fans and media outlets as a guiding framework for how to honor him without erasing the pain of others. And yet, amid the noise, something profound happened. The world began to listen, not just to Warner's past, but to his message. Clips of him discussing masculinity, fatherhood, creativity, and race began to circulate. College students shared his spoken word pieces. Teachers played his interviews in classrooms. And in this unexpected climax, this chaotic emotional peak, it became clear that Malcolm-Jamal Warner had not just been a former child star. He had been a vessel for growth, a living bridge between eras of Black storytelling. In life, he was soft-spoken. In death, he roared. Ultimately, the legacy of Malcolm-Jamal Warner is a testament to the power of resilience, grace, and quiet strength. In the weeks following his sudden and tragic passing, fans, friends, and industry insiders have been grappling with both sorrow and celebration, a duality that reflects the complexity of his life and career. Warner's death forced a collective pause, inviting reflection on what it truly means to be remembered. Beyond the shock of his drowning, his life story serves as a beacon of how an artist can navigate fame with dignity and integrity, even amid controversy. Warner's impact transcends the confines of the small screen. His portrayal of Theo Huxtable was more than just a role. It was a cultural milestone that reshaped the American television landscape by offering a positive, multidimensional representation of Black family life. Unlike many child stars who flounder after their breakout roles, Warner evolved thoughtfully, embracing opportunities in music, directing, and activism that reflected his values. This evolution, marked by intentional choices rather than celebrity theatrics, cemented his reputation as a role model both on and off camera. In the final analysis, Warner's passing is a stark reminder of life's fragility and the preciousness of time. It is a call to cherish moments, nurture relationships, and pursue purpose beyond fame. As we say goodbye, it's clear that the world has lost not only a gifted actor, but a humble soul who quietly shaped cultural history. And in remembering Malcolm-Jamal Warner, we honor not just the character he played, but the man he was. A reminder that even in the face of sudden loss, our shared stories and memories keep us connected, inspired, and hopeful for what comes next.